We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
All right, this is going to be fun. Golden Muzzy, Nick Alberga joins us now, NHL Fantasy Podcast, Leafs Morning Take, surreal piece of theater that transpired over the weekend where this was a bizarre press conference. Words were used like con man, scammer, fake. Here's your new GM, Nick. I mean, at Golden Money on X, by the way, and he's on the Progressive guest line. What were your takeaways and how weird that press conference was? And if you can explain to our listeners what transpired, please.
Yeah, so pretty much a well-known reporter in this market, and guys, thank you so much for having me. A well-known reporter in this market pretty much phrased a question surrounding the new GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who, by the way, hasn't worked in the NHL in 6 years, and the last time he worked was for a decrepit organization known as the Arizona Coyotes, who are no longer in the league. Yes. So that's where the convo starts. Yeah. But the Leafs somehow figured out and zoned in this guy to be their candidate, to be their GM, to work in parcel with Matt Sundin, who, of course, is a legend with the Maple Leafs organization. And a question was just asked that I think to an extent was a fair question. I probably wouldn't have worded it that way, but it was about the legitimacy of the candidate. And if John Chaika, the new GM, made a lot of sense in how he landed on this. And the person, Steve Simmons, who asked the question, did a lot of background work, according to himself, asking other executives around the NHL. And serious words were used, and that's where it landed with John Chaika. But yeah, it's a very viral moment, and we could tie that into betting because the NHL draft lottery goes tonight in about 2 hours, boys.
Yes.
Yeah, and talk to me, Nick, because, we see it with Tortorella coming back every year. It's recycling with head coaches in the league. Do you have any reason that you can point to why the NHL specifically, it's usually the same names, yet then this guy comes out of left field and no one was anticipating him being, bro? Do you have a reason why it's always the same names over and over again at different spots?
It's an old boys club. I always wonder the same thing, especially when it comes to coaching in the NHL. Not so much GMs, but coaching. I always commend guys and teams for thinking outside the box. Like Pittsburgh's a prime example. Dan Muse has done a wonderful job with the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. Kyle Dubas, of course, their GM, former GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But it really is a good question. Like, there's no other people out there that can do the job. And I just will say on the Chaika front, I think it's because of his maligned history with the Coyotes organization, not so much who he is or where he's come from, that has made this whole thing go viral. Because I do commend the Leafs. Like, I think at the beginning of this GM search about 35 days ago when they fired Brad Treliving, they said they want to go outside the box and be analytically driven, which I totally comprehend and understand. That makes a lot of sense, especially in this era of the NHL. But they actually identified a bunch of different people that would make sense. Among them, Scott White, who's the AGM in Dallas. The Stars have been a wonderful franchise for many, many years. But it was just more so the story that, like, why everything turned to John Chaika. Like, why was he the prime candidate? And quite frankly, they didn't really clear things up yesterday at the press conference either as to why he was the determining factor and the guy they ultimately chose.
Is there a bet to be made? Will there be a team really benefit that wins the lottery tonight that could shake up the NHL world?
Well, I mean, the draft lottery is so insane to begin with. It's changed quite a bit. I was just watching a sports show here in Canada, and they were talking about Edmonton back in the day, and this is the reason why they changed the draft lottery, guys, is the Oilers won like first overall in like 3 or 4 years. It was actually insane. But the odds are interesting. I think from the Maple Leafs perspective, I could preface you guys with the story of what's transpired here in the last 16 months. Well, dating back to last year's trade deadline, they dealt, a first-round pick and prospect, Fraser Minton, who made Boston, was great on Boston this year, for a defenseman named Brandon Carlo. And that pick was top 5 protected. So you look at this year, the Maple Leafs didn't expect themselves to be in that situation. They tanked out. They were brutal. In fact, finished bottom 5 in the NHL, so the 5th worst record. So effectively, what needs to happen tonight from the Maple Leafs perspective, they have to find a way to secure a top 5 pick to keep that pick and negate it from going to Boston. If they keep that pick, then Boston gets it next year. But that's a conversation for next year, of course. I think people in this market very, very stressed, but the math actually not in the favor of the Maple Leafs. A 41.9% chance they don't secure a top 5 pick. So, in short, the NHL draft lottery is very confusing. It's actually 2 lotteries in one, if that makes sense. So I think it could be very Canadian heavy, Canadiana tonight with teams like the Maple Leafs, the Vancouver Canucks, the Calgary Flames, and others like the Winnipeg Jets all around this thing.
Well, speaking of Canada, 1993, last cup north of the border. Your last team standing from Canada is the Montreal Canadiens. How much does the rest of the country hate that that's the team that holds your country's hopes to hoist the cup here?
Well, it's so funny, guys, because every year, like last year, the last couple of years, it's been Edmonton. Like Edmonton's Canada's team. I've never subscribed to that. Like if you're a fan of the Leafs, you're a Leafs fan. And when the Leafs go out, that's it. Say two. If you're a fan of the Ottawa Senators, ditto for that conversation. But as a Leafs fan specifically, there's one team I won't root for, and that's the Montreal Canadiens.
Okay.
Having said all that, I really like where this team's at right now. I'm really looking forward to this series against the Buffalo Sabres. A rivalry nobody really talks about, but it's not far in proximity to each other. And on top of that, both fan bases are rabid and hungry to win. Buffalo hasn't been in the playoffs in nearly 15 years. Their home ice crowd's insane. Ditto for the Bell Center in Montreal. I think if there's one piece of advice I can give anybody out there, if there is one team to go watch a playoff game and them to host that game, it is Montreal. It is the Bell Center. So in length, Montreal is a serious team this year. I don't know if they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but would I be shocked if they at least got to a conference final? Probably not. This is going to be an awesome series, guys.
Yes. You tweeted that there's Colorado and Minnesota and everyone else, and there's a large gap. Do you still feel that way? And what if I get this play out of Anderson, though, in Carolina?
Well, that's a thing. I think when I bet, I like to look back at history. I just can't look at Carolina seriously because it's been so many years. And they've, in fact, in the Rod Brind'Amour era, he's known as one of the better coaches in this league. They have one Eastern Conference final game victory in multiple appearances. Like, it hasn't gone swimmingly, if you catch my drift, for Carolina. Like, this is what they do. They get to a conference final, which they should. And if you got to bet something, it's maybe a sweep here against Philadelphia moving forward here in round 2. But I think they're a serious team this year. I like the Nikolai Ehlers pickup. I think that'll really, really help things. Logan Stankoven's another guy, if you want to tap into the Conn Smythe market alongside of Freddie Anderson. You know, as somebody who's covered the Maple Leafs, has been a fan of the Maple Leafs for a long time, Freddie Anderson was their number one for a long time. In the back of my mind, guys, he gets hurt a lot, and I hope it doesn't happen. Knock on wood, but he's been a phenomenal story for that Canes team. And whoever goes on, assuming Carolina moves on to the conference final, if it's Montreal or Buffalo, that's also going to be a fantastic series. And maybe this is the year that the Canes finally push through to the Cup final. But to answer your question, I view Colorado specifically as a team to beat. And number 2, especially with Quinn Hughes in the fold, and we're finding out Philip Gustafson's going to start game 2 and not Jesper Wallstedt, who has taken the Wild to this position right now. I just have those two teams just a peg above everybody else right now.
Tonight, game 2, you mentioned it, Colorado, Minnesota, total 6.5, Nick. We had 15 goals in game 1. Do you think we get adjustments and we maybe can go under? Or do you think there's just too many weapons on the ice and we go over again?
I've been wrestling with this all day because, like, how do you course control or course correct, if you will, from 15 goals? And you look at that juicy number at 6.5. I'm inclined to play the over. I just have to, guys. I think the funny thing about game 1 is, for the most part, the big dogs on both sides, very, very quiet. Kirill Kaprizov, Matthew Boldy with Minnesota. I know Quinn Hughes had a big game. And then Colorado, like, aside from Nathan McKinnon's empty netter, he was relatively quiet. You know, Martin Necas, another prime player on that roster, which, what I'm driving at is I think the star players in this series will have a better showing of themselves here in game number 2. And I tend to favor the over more times than not early on in series as teams get used to each other a bit. So, yeah, I'm probably going to play that number. It's just too juicy for me, guys.
It was refreshing what McDavid and Draisaitl said after they lost to Anaheim. What changes are going to happen in Edmonton?
accountability is a beautiful word, is it not, Pauly?
Yeah.
That's a big time question, because certainly when we see the board for next year of potential cup winners, I think Edmonton's going to be a top 5 suitor, just because people expect this team to go all in, and whatever that is the case. I think the big story is the goaltending, which has been ad nauseum the case for the last 10 years under the Connor McDavid Draisaitl administration. And here we go again. We just talked about terrible trades, and the one the Maple Leafs made for Brandon Carlo. How about the Tristan Jarry one? Pittsburgh and Edmonton clearly did not go the way that Edmonton suspected. And so how do they rectify that crease? They got to get better defensively, got to find a way to move out from that Darnell Nurse contract. But yeah, that has to be the most polarizing team to watch in the NHL this summer. And that's basically because Connor McDavid has 2 years left on his contract that kicks in this summer at $12.5 million, which is fantastic in this salary cap era of the NHL. But they got to build a winner around him, because there's no guarantee he's coming back here in 2 years.
Great job, Nick. Enjoy the lottery tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. My pleasure. Take care.
At Golden Muzzy on X, he's on the Progressive guest line, and Steve Simmons, who asked the question at that presser, will be on his show tomorrow. I talked to 19 of 20 people, and they said scammer, con man, fake. This is your guy. And then the answer is, well, I talked to different people then.
But I want
from the ownership.
But I also want to know, what types of people was he talking to? Was it other people who were up for the job and are bitter that they didn't get it in the industry, that don't like the guy? Like, I need context of who. Is he polling random people in the street? Who is he talking to?
That's gutsy, though. The guy's standing right there.
Oh, it is.
I mean, to say that.
Also sets the tone of the relationship going forward.
No kidding.
Are you supposed to at least go up there and be kind of nice, like welcoming, so you can get a little bit of a relationship with the guy you're covering for however long he's there?
Then he tells a story in Arizona. He's got 6 computer monitors. 5 of them are nothing. Like they didn't mean anything. They were phony numbers. It wasn't on. It was for show. It was for show. He put the guy on Front Street. Incredible. An all-time Malinsky special tonight in baseball. And buy low. How things can change in Major League Baseball. We'll look back at last year and what changed. So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I retweeted the press conference question from Steve Simmons the other day. If you want to check it out at Pauly Howard on X. Wild what's going on in Toronto. And how about that? Like Canada's team right now is Buffalo. That they can't stand the Canadians.
I mean,
so hope Buffalo wins. What an answer that was.
I went to Montreal a couple times in my life. Here's what I'd say is they don't believe they're Canadians. They believe they're better than the other Canadians. They're the true Canadians.
Very good. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of Pepe Le Pews up there. No doubt about it. So this is the Malinsky special I was talking about. Arizona's at home tonight against Pittsburgh. They went Mexico City, Milwaukee, Chicago. They haven't played at home since April 23rd, and they are bad. That's another good reason to take the Pirates as well. So a good Malinsky special tonight. You mentioned this yesterday and also tweeted it, and it's very good, about buying low and how things can change in Major League Baseball. Let's go back to early May last year and how things changed and what actually happened. And you referenced Milwaukee and Toronto and certainly good teams missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if you want to relay that and then Who are you looking at? Who should we look at right now?
All right. Most notably, the Mets were 22-13 as of yesterday, a year ago. They didn't even make the playoffs last year. As of like a week ago, the Giants had one of the best records in baseball a year ago. They didn't make the playoffs. But as of yesterday, Toronto was 2 games below 500. They made it all the way to the World Series, right? Milwaukee was a game below 500. They made the NLCS. You had Houston, a game over 500 in the postseason. Boston, 500, made the postseason. Cincinnati, 1 game above 500. They made the playoffs. There's a lot of baseball in front of us. There is a lot of opportunity for these guys to figure it out. The jetway is wide open. Who are the undervalued teams out there? Because I'll tell you this, sometimes in baseball it pays to be stubborn and go back to a team you believed in preseason, but I can't do that with one team, and that's the Baltimore Orioles. Have you seen what the Orioles have been doing? The Orioles against the Yankees in their series, I mean, they were horrible. 4-game series, they never led once, and that's happened 3 times now in their history. 1988, 1960, and 2026 made 1st to 4th against them. So Baltimore, I'm writing them off because the starting pitching's the same and these young guys are not getting any better. Can I interest you in a team like the Kansas City Royals with the Skubal injury?
Absolutely.
Skubal out. The division opens way up. That division always stinks.
They're in 4th place, but they're only a game and a half out, and now they've won 8 of 10. Yes.
The pitching is solid. The problem is the bullpen is so freaking bad. And they really don't have an answer inside the organization. They have to be aggressive. They have to make a move. But this lineup has to be better. Bobby Witt's starting to hit a little bit more. You can get Kansas City plus $1.35 to make the playoffs. I think they're absolutely in the mix for the division and to be a wild card team this year. That is one. The other one is shortened up a ton, and that's Toronto. Toronto's plus 105. They're in 3rd place in the East. Tampa Bay just lost Matz to an injury. They've had a couple of other injuries to main guys. They're 22-12, so there are a few games, 6 games above Toronto, but the Blue Jays are getting healthier. Savage is back, right? Bieber is coming down the line. There's a few other pieces. Nathan Lukes hasn't played in forever, right? They should be a better team as we get going. The problem is, I don't love Toronto big picture, but I do think they're good enough to be a playoff team. Akamoto's been killing the ball at 3rd base. They've got plenty of pop. The pitching should be solid. I think they're a buy low at plus 105 right now.
Well, the scary thing is the Yankees are 24-11. They won 14 of 16, and they're going to get Cole and Rodon back. That's scary. And what Schlittler's doing and how well the pitching's been. But
7th time in Yankees history, they're 24-11 with a plus 76 run differential through 35 games. Every other time they did that, 6 times. 23, 51, 39, 36, 32, and 23. They made the World Series in all those.
Oh, very good. Very good. How about Texas?
I love Texas. I bet them to win the division preseason. I have them plus 340.
DeGrom goes tonight against the Yankees.
Good pitching, deep lineup. Very deep lineup.
I would not want to see this team in the playoffs.
Josh Young is hitting again. That is so big for this team that the 3rd baseman, one, is healthy, but he's starting to hit the ball. They're one of these weird teams that actually has a bench. They have guys who can fill in and really not have a drop-off. You need Seager to stay healthy. That is absolutely crucial for them. But I really like Texas. I think Texas is a very fun team. Plus, there's going to be more wins against Houston this year because the Astros just aren't the same. They have no pitching.
Absolutely. Yep. Now, I did put the Rays on there, even though they have a good record. But, I mean, is that no good? I can't do that?
No, I mean,
They're 10 over, but look at these numbers. They did it again last night. They've won 10 of 11. Their starters' ERA in that stretch is 1.18. They've allowed 3 runs or fewer in all of 11.
I'll never doubt this team. This
What
organization.
Yes.
They always figure it out, man. Camanero's a superstar. Yandy Diaz is hitting 322. No one's talking about Yandy Diaz hitting 322. And then I thought they were really smart in the offseason. They went out and got veterans who need just an opportunity to play in a buy low, prove it situation. Mullins is there. Nick Fortes, the catcher, is there. There's a few other guys in this lineup, and then the pitching staff. It's like a really solid rotation. It's just not sexy, right? Rasmussen's a borderline, legit ace in my eyes. He goes tonight. I like Tampa Bay tonight, by the way.
Yes, 2-0 at home with a 0.75.
I like Rasmussen over Gossman. I don't trust Gossman on the road. I think that Tampa Bay could be an issue for him. Didn't have great numbers against them last year in 2 out of 3 starts. But I don't hate the idea of Tampa minus $1.40 to make the postseason. What about National League? National League, I feel like, might be a little bit harder.
I put Brewers down.
Always. They're always in the mix. You never count that team out.
I'm in last place, but I'm 18-16. I'm going to get guys back and I always figure it out.
I need you to talk me off it. Don't let me do it. The Mets are plus 310 to make the playoffs.
Oh, come on.
Don't let me do it.
No, I will not allow you. No, I will not allow that.
It's just like with my
Can't do it.
with my bald spot on my head. Everyone needs a friend to tell you when it's time to shave it off. You need someone to tell you when not to place a stupid bet on a bad baseball team. Yeah,
I could see Phillies. I'll go though. Phillies
still even money.
They're 6-1 since the managerial change.
They're even money to make the playoffs. The difference between them and the Mets is they have pitching depth. They have arms that they can throw at you. Duran's not healthy on the back end, but they can piece it together till he returns. And all those guys in the lineup have a track record of being really consistent hitters.
Coming back tonight.
You have to believe they start hitting. And now you're right. They're in Sacramento. I think they were like 9-1 to lead the day in scoring over at William Hill. 9-1 in Sacramento against Severino.
No, it's at home. It's at home.
Oh, it's at home?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at
Never
home.
mind then. Never mind then. Ignore that.
Yep.
Severino's better on the road. But either way, Philadelphia offensively will be better than they are right now. There's just too much proof that these guys are good.
Or should we not even focus on the National League because of the Dodgers? And they'll eventually figure out the offense. And then come playoff time, it's Yamamoto, Ohtani, and Glasnow. Good luck.
Yeah,
and Snell too.
I'm at a point where I've started just taking these little tickets and building them up on the Dodgers every 2 or 3 weeks. Just $50 here, $75 here. Dodgers about plus 180, 2-1 in that range. I mean, last year at the beginning of the postseason, I got the Dodgers 5-1 to win the World Series. They were never 5-1 all season long.
Mitch got 7, I think.
Is there going to be a dip on them again this year? Or did the books learn their lesson last year? Do we never get that dip? And this is as good as it gets.
Yeah. You can't do that again.
No, I don't think so.
I'm with you.
So I think
that's good. That's interesting. I was surprised by that. That's a good tweet you had.
But American League, we're riding off the bottom. Angels are done. Kikuchi's out for a while. White Sox aren't making the playoffs. Minnesota's going to sell. Houston.
Why can't the White Sox?
Oh, I think
Murakami goes deep every game.
He hit his first double last night of the year.
Was it?
Yeah, his first double.
God.
It's all singles or homers.
That's Rob Deere. This is crazy.
I told you, my conspiracy is they trade Murakami at the deadline. We'll talk about it later. My belief is this trade deadline in baseball is going to be the craziest we've ever seen because there are owners and GMs with jobs on the line that can't afford the lockout next year. Also, can't afford the salary cap that will come on the other side of the lockout. You're going to see the Yankees, maybe the Mets, even the Dodgers. I think everyone's going to be so active to load up. I think someone like Murakami could help Chicago set up their organization for the next 5 to 10 years with the prospects that they could trade at the deadline this season.
You like a prop tonight? You have a favorite prop?
I don't have an NBA or...
No, baseball.
I don't have a baseball prop, but my favorite baseball play today, well, I do like the over in Pittsburgh, Arizona.
You see Jackson, you see Merrill? He's hitting .667 career against Logan Webb.
Ooh.
That's the nuts.
Ooh, Logan Webb back home, minus $1.30 against Buehler. That's juicy.
Buehler, terrible on the road.
I think could Miami lead the day in scoring? They're taking on Bassett.
That daily special, yeah.
Marlins are 20-1, highest scoring team. Chris Bassett may be the worst road pitcher in baseball.
That's good. I like that.
20-1.
Not bad. We're taking over the largest sports book. And you're invited June 13th from 1 to 5. World Cup, 3 games. Game 5, NBA Finals. Open bar, all-you-can-eat food. Afternoon with us. Don't miss out. Sign up, vsin.com/beyond the booth. June 13th, 1 to 5. Wall-to-wall action. NBA Finals, World Cup, and all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink. vsin.com/beyond the booth. vsin.com/beyond the booth. So it is a good MLB card today. We did have the game snowed out in Colorado, but we'll kick around the card coming up next. And these numbers on Tampa Bay will blow you away as they are in action at home tonight coming up. Because you have to respect this organization. But I'll run that down coming up next. And also another prop you should play. Straight ahead, follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Let's cook. Good card today in MLB. Phillies 6-1 since they Mattingly took over. Sanchez is 210 at home against the A's. You referenced Severino, much better on the road as opposed to home. Kurtz has reached 28 games in a row. During this stretch, Philly starters are 4-1 with a 1.85. Best road ERA, Yankees and the A's. And the first place A's still getting it done. And not only have what Kurtz is doing, Wilson's hit safely in 13 of his last 14, and he's hitting 350. I know you like some chalk tonight, and I know the Phillies are playing well. 210 here, a little risky here with the Phillies, and the offense has been a little shaky lately.
Yeah, I would never argue with taking a plus price on Severino on the road. I would never do that. I mean, he was awesome a year ago. It's continued into this season. That lineup is still plenty punchy. And Sanchez has been good, but I don't know if he's quite as dominant as some of the numbers have looked. He's had some erratic starts here and there, so I don't hate the idea of taking the plus $1.69 on the road with the A's there in the first game on the board.
Okay, and I know you want Tampa Bay. I'm with you. This seems cheap. $1.40. Here are the numbers.
Oh, it's moved. I bet it at 126 this morning.
Okay, good. 10-1 ERA with a 10-1 ERA of 1.18 last 11. 3 runs or fewer in all of them. And then Rasmussen with a 2-0 with a 0.75 at home. Right-hand hitters, 3 for 35. You can also go against Gossman here if you want. Total of 7.
Yeah, I'm on the Rays. Gossman a year ago, 2 bad starts, 1 good start against the Rays, 6.46 ERA against Tampa. Tampa Bay hitters have an 8.25 OPS against Gossman. Road ERA this year, it's right around 5. I want to say, 4.86 right now. And Rasmussen, 1 game against the Blue Jays a season ago, 6 innings, shutout baseball. He's probably one of the more underrated guys going in baseball, Rasmussen, every single time out. I love backing this guy. I think they have the edge on the bump. They have an edge with that lineup being able to get to Gossman. I like the price even at $1.43.
All right. Diaz, where are my numbers? Diaz, 580. Career against Gossman as well. He has owned him. Okay, so to expand on your misery in Baltimore. Lost 5 in a row, all by 5+ runs. Never led, as you mentioned. Outscored 50-15. And it's Sandy. Go against Bassett. And then why not Miami 20-25 to 1 most runs tonight, too? You can do that.
Chris Bassett pretty consistently is one of the worst road pitchers in baseball. Like no matter what team he's on, whether he's with the Blue Jays, the Mets, wherever he is on the road, he's really bad. This year, 8.03 road ERA, and he's taken on Sandy. And Alcantara, he's sort of on track. He's not quite the guy of old. I think they probably regret letting him go out there for the 9th inning in that one game. He wanted to be out there. He was annoyed he didn't get to finish it, but he really hasn't been the same since. But he's still better than Bassett. And this Orioles lineup, it still has holes, man. Alonso's not really consistently hitting. This whole group, how does Mike Elias, the GM, keep his job? That's what I want to know, because he's assembled this roster. He keeps saying it's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work, and it keeps not working. They're 5 games below 500 here. Marlins are punchy, man. It's a really solid lineup. I like Miami minus $1.40 if you can get that right now. I do think they have the edge on the mound, and it's shockingly a lineup I trust more.
Okay. This one's tough. Rodriguez makes his 2nd start for the Yankees. They're $1.40 at home against Texas. They played last week. All 3 games went under. Very low scoring. DeGrom is awesome, but also he's prone to give up a first-inning run. My guy Jordan Scott kept pointing out, and a lot of times it's a long ball. So you can look at a Yerfie here as well. But DeGrom plus money, even though the Yankees have won 14 of their last 16, and the offense has been great, and also what they're doing offensively. Most runs, fewest allowed since April 17th. The run differential, 106-40. But Texas did get them, as it was Rodriguez against Eovaldi, and they lost 3-0. That was one of the losses last week. What do you think?
This one's been steamed up. I mean, DeGrom
a lot of faith in the kid.
DeGrom was plus 105 like 3 hours ago. He's plus $1.13 now. Last time out against the Yankees, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 punch-outs for him. Elmer Rodriguez, it's going to be his 2nd start. And here's what I hate. It's the 2nd start against the same team. Doesn't the sample size tell you the more you see someone, the more you're going to pick up their tendencies, see the ball better, start hitting it more? They got him for 2 in 4 innings. The Yankees bullpen's awesome, but I feel like you're asking a lot here. I mean, why wouldn't you just take a flyer on the plus $1.13 with the better pitcher?
Yeah. I don't, and come back with the Yurfie too. Cubbies look to win 13 in a row at home. Tyone $1.60 against Abbott, 8 the total. Reds blew it last night, and the Cubs just finding a way to get it done every game. What a story! They won 14 in a row at home in 08, 16-3 run overall. Reds 1-6 in the division. I like Abbott, but you can't go against the Cubs, and I love to play streaks in baseball.
Yeah, I hate the idea of Abbott, who's a bit of a contact guy at times, on the road at Wrigley. I don't love that for him here. You got Tyon on the hill, really good at Wrigley a year ago, 3.05 ERA, over 10 starts, a little bit worse on the road at 4.20. So he knows how to pitch in the confines there. And then if you just look at the basic numbers, Cincinnati with the run differential, it has to come back the other way. They've been so lucky getting outscored big picture this season. At some point, the other shoe has to drop. Chicago seems to be finding their footing when it matters here. And as it heats up, man, they might run away with this division. And I hate saying that because I think this roster construction stinks for the Cubs. I don't find it to be very, impressive. And it feels like they just keep running it back, adding like one or two pieces here and there. But I think they're going to wind up being the best team in this division when it's all said and done.
Okay, worst ERA, Houston, D-backs, Baltimore. And you pointed this out yesterday. You have to go against Houston because the pitching's so bad, and the Dodgers finally broke out of it. Now you got the pitcher with the best ERA in baseball going, and Ohtani's 2.25 on the road against Lambert, 5 for his last 40 at the plate while pitching.
But he's not hitting.
Yeah, that's right.
Not hitting that.
I decided not to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's an issue. I still took him. I went first 5 minus a half run at minus 138.
He has bad numbers against the Astros, which surprised me.
Yeah, but 2 earned runs in his last 5 starts, 30 innings.
Yes.
I feel like he's a man on a mission. He's trying to prove that he should get the Cy Young because he adds that to the bookshelf there behind him. All of a sudden, everything's off the charts for the legacy and all that. Lambert on the other end, 2 earned at Baltimore last start. He was good versus Cleveland, then 4 earned in 5 innings against St. Louis. I just think he's overmatched. And remember, when you're betting on or against Houston, and it doesn't necessarily work for the first 5 in my play here, but going forward, it's the worst ERA for a bullpen right now. So over the course of the game, if your bet's not hitting early, it has a chance to come back and win later in the game.
White Sox? Come on. Come right back with the White Sox.
I didn't, you know what?
The last time they were
my card.
No, the last time they were 500 this late in the season, 2022.
2022.
You believe that?
I remember what the roster looked like.
And the the Angels have lost 13 of 15. 3 runs or fewer 11 times.
I mean,
they can't be favored. I'm sorry.
No, they're slight favorite. But you're not getting a plus price with Eric Fetty. Do you know how bad things are going for your team when Eric Fetty's taking the hill against you and he's a minus 108 on the road? That guy just pitches to contact too much. I think the over 9 could be in play. I don't hate that.
Okay.
I think both teams could score some runs here.
Not bad. Braves haven't lost a series all year. They blew a 4-run lead in the 6th last night.
I had plus $1.49 on them last night.
I know. Bad beat.
Killed me.
Kirby's $1.35 against Elder, who's been fantastic.
Yeah, Elder is a weird guy because I think all the stat nerds would tell you he can't keep up when he's doing well. But, I mean, if you look, this guy, for the most part, he can go on these runs where he's really serviceable despite not having power stuff and racking up the Ks. It's George Kirby at home. I think a first 5 under might be the way I would attack that one.
Malinsky special, Pirates plus money, Diamondbacks first home game since April 23rd. And again, starters ERA and team ERA is horrific. Walker Buehler's got an ERA of 13 on the road.
Yep.
They couldn't hit last night. Damn, I can't believe it. They lost 3-2. Logan Webb, $1.30. Giants' fewest runs scored in the league. Tinfoil hat guy again checking in. Tatis, no home runs. Got to get back on the good stuff.
Maybe LeBron's taking the good stuff that Tatis normally takes this time of year. I don't know what's going on there. I like the Giants. I took a minus $1.30. It's Webb at home.
Yeah.
And look, the Giants can't hit, but everyone hits against Walker Buehler these days.
That's
true.
I
think they have a chance to score some runs. I love the over in Pirates D-backs. You got a Pirates team on the road. 4th most runs this year against Southpaws. You got Erod on the bump for the Diamondbacks, 10 earned runs over his last 3. That's 14 2/3 innings. Then Bubba Chandler on the road this year, ERA near 6. So I love the over 9 in that game.
All right, excellent. And as I mentioned earlier, Merrill, 10 of 15 career against Webb. You want to use his props as well. Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158, downtown Circa. Always check out the podcast as well. And up next, it's your segment. FTM at vsin.com, or tweet at us as well. The pizzeria is open. Some good ones here, some big tickets. And now we're getting down to it, too. I mean, between the OKC and the Colorado Avalanche props, you're only a round away from cashing this stuff as well, as so many tickets had OKC to win the West, Colorado to win the West as well. But there's some good ones on here, too, with Spurs Thunder conference final matchups as well, and a good one that cashed in the NFL draft. FTM at vsin.com. Send them in. We'll run them all down coming up next as we open up the pizzeria and the tip jar on Follow the Money.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Do you like the service at Mitch and Pauly's?
I don't tip. You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it. Leave us a tip on your way out.
You don't tip. You don't tip. What do you mean you don't tip? You don't believe in it.
The guys crack open the jar and see what the listeners have left behind.
So what, no TV now?
It's time for the tip jar at Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria.
All right, send them in. FTM at vsin.com. Tweet at us as well. It's your segment. Do it every Tuesday. And one we just got from Ray. T-Wolves win the series against the Spurs. Royals make the playoffs.
Ooh.
There's another one on there with French Open, 160-1. That is strong. Have you ever seen this before? From 13-1 to plus 160 in 2 days?
No.
2 days.
No. I mean, also, it just goes to show you if you're willing to take some chances here. When everyone's assuming someone like Anthony Edwards is out, if you're just willing to go against it, put a little bit on it. You could have 45-1 yesterday on them to win the West. I think that thing's down to what, like 15-1, 12-1, somewhere around there?
Mitch is back tomorrow. He sent me a text right when FanDuel released the series price. He goes, how can the Spurs be 3,000 and to take back 13-1? But we thought Ant would be out like 2 to 4 weeks. And the guy misses 2 games, but it's plus 160 now after they steal game 1. John in New York. Michigan money line, college hoops won. Justin Rose, winner without market that won.
Oh.
There were four guys that were listed. Ben Rice, MVP. 4,800-1. He's got 2 in. Can Rice do it?
I love the concept. I love the idea, but Ben Rice, all the credit he gets for as good as his year's going to be, it's going to be, well, you're hitting in a lineup with Aaron Judge. That's how you see these fastballs.
Yeah.
You got maybe the greatest right-handed hitter we've ever seen in our lifetime hitting in that lineup. I don't see how Ben Rice wins MVP.
All right. These are, there it is. There's the ticket. Look at that. $1.50 to pay $7,200. And we got one, I forget the guy's name, but we'll get it later. The guy has a $2 bet. Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, and then OKC to beat the Pistons, and the Avalanche to beat the Hurricanes. It pays $22,000. He's got a shot there.
He's got life.
You're damn right he does. That's unbelievable.
We sit here, we make all these cases for long shots. It's all chalk.
Yeah.
It's all chalk.
Gordon in Oregon. Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Thunder win the West. Dodgers repeat. 164-1. You're cooking.
If you're not ending every one of these cross-sport parlays with Dodgers to win the World Series, I just think you're doing it wrong. You can still get a plus price. Just add another leg to it, whatever it is. I'll even go in their lane like $1.50. I'll still add them to the end of these things.
Yeah. Lance does a great job. He has some good tickets. He had a bunch of cat triple-doubles last week, and he's been playing the assists over. We've been talking about it nonstop. The Rams to draft Ty Simpson to Trout MVP, 98-1. So he's got one in already.
Ooh.
Just got to get Trout MVP.
I mean,
I still think it's going to be hard because now the team can't win a game. But.
Yeah, I mean, they have no pitching, and they're just not going to give it to give the award to someone on a last-place team.
That's what I think, but...
Cash it out.
He's 22-1. He's 22-1. Okay. Notre Dame wins the college football playoff. Easy schedule. Ravens win the AFC. 7th easiest according to Warren Sharp. Scheffler wins the PGA next week. 220 to 1.
Oh, you have my attention there.
Not bad. I like it.
You definitely.
I like it.
Notre Dame is going to be really tough to build the case against here.
The schedule's a joke.
The schedule's
It's not
easy.
Texas Tech easy, but
when's the last time they had a quarterback returning with the experience who went upward every step of the way a year ago? And then Freeman, you just trust Freeman as a coach, and they're not going to get held out of the playoff back-to-back years. They will not do that to the Irish if they're just on the cusp. So I love the Notre Dame aspect as a big leg in this thing, and even though I hate the idea of shorter shots in college football.
Chris Ebert on X, Taylor Hall, Conn Smythe, 40 to 1.
Nice call.
Game winner last night. 2 wins away from the conference final. I think they beat whoever wins Montreal Buffalo, although it'll be a great series. Problem is, you got Anderson, your teammate, to contend with.
Yeah.
Who's playing ridiculous in goal. That was his mistake on that first one. You can't just throw it out there in front of everyone, and they gave the Flyers the first goal, but he's been incredible. Thunder over the Pistons, 35 to 1.
Yeah. You got life.
Yeah, but
because
I will say that the Pistons should have beat the Knicks last year. I'll say that.
That's the thing. If Detroit gets past Cleveland, they were
have home court.
one or two weird calls away from beating the Knicks a season ago in the opening round of the playoffs. And then you mentioned home court. The Knicks are not a good road team this year. It has been a big issue for them is that they don't step up when they're not at Madison Square Garden. If Detroit gets in their head, the Pistons absolutely can take care of these Knicks.
Troy in South Dakota. He has the Wild to win the Cup, 25 to 1. He has the Wild to win the West and the Timberwolves to win the West, 306 to 1.
You're from Minnesota. Would you ever do that to yourself? Put all Minnesota teams in a parlay to win?
Ever. Our success, and come on, you got to go back to the Twins in '91. Come on, Heartbreak Hotel. But that's a big ticket, and the problem is if you pull the big upset, then you got to beat OKC, and that did not go well last year. This whole thing stinks with the Luka injury. At least the Lakers had a shot.
They had a shot at pushing it to 7 with Luka at best. I mean, they're
but you never know. There could be an injury.
Fair.
OKC and
Fair.
It's funny how it goes.
My GPS on my phone has been weird. Oklahoma City could get lost on the way to the arena. Anything could happen.
Yes, Denny in Massachusetts. Timberwolves win the NBA title. Avalanche win the Cup. Dodgers repeat, 1,680 to 1.
I caught a lot of flack for this yesterday on the show.
You need an injury.
I was writing off Minnesota, and rightfully so, people called me out. Minnesota was awesome in game 1. Let's see them do it again. Let's see them then do it against Oklahoma City. That's a totally different beast in the next round.
How are they doing this?
I don't
It's
know.
one thing to beat Denver at home, but then you don't have DeSumo and Ants on one leg, and the Spurs were bad offensively.
I also don't want to hear
that was disappointing.
I don't want to hear Rudy Gobert be the butt of every joke going forward. He's been really good in the playoffs.
Yeah. That was a good point what Geltzeiler said, though. The Wolves will continue to attack Wemby to ladder those blocks.
It's crazy.
Did anyone have that ticket? 10 blocks? Flip in Iowa. Timberwolves win the title. Twins' fewest wins. 7,200 to 1.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
That's not I like that market, fewest wins.
The fewest wins might
That's
be
good.
a fun way to spruce up your tickets and get a good jolt in the number. I don't hate that. A lot of T-Wolves to win the title tickets. I gotta tell you, they're not even in my top 3 right now of the teams remaining.
Is it 72,000 or 7,200? 72,000. Oh my God. Twins are in last place. Yeah, 15 and 20. You have the other one? The viewer sent in? Okay. That's great. Seattle wins the Super Bowl. Thunder beat the Pistons. Avalanche beat the Hurricanes.
There.
$2.50 pays almost $21,000. Oh, look at the cash out.
What
440. All right.
How about this, though? If Colorado and Carolina can advance before either OKC or Detroit advance just on the calendar, you can probably get a better cash out option, right?
Yeah.
If those series end sooner.
Yeah. Do you have Dustin's? All right.
I went crazy.
What did you
here.
throw away?
I went crazy. All right, so the bottom one's the first one. Is Jalen Brunson Finals MVP? Okay,
All right.
that's 9.5 to 1. Then I went chalky in the NHL. Avs to win the West.
Sure.
Carolina to win the East.
No problem.
Connor Griffin to be the NL Rookie of the Year at 7.5 to 1. Now, he has been red hot lately, and I think at the end of the season, you're going to look at stats where it's double-digit home runs, probably 30 steals, enough runs, enough ribbies, and I think he's going to get a lot of hype behind him. The New York Football Giants to make the playoffs. They are the Patriots from a year ago, but John Harbaugh remains faithful to his wife. And then finally, my favorite of the longer shots, and I think you can get a way better number at other books, but the one that allowed me to do the cross-sport parlay was here on Caesars. John Mateer Heisman. I think people are forgetting the
That's
Oklahoma
a lot on your
quarterback.
plate.
I know.
You could have. Yeah, you really went strong there.
I'd probably take the Mateer off if I was
Yeah.
going to remove one, but
Okay.
I figured I'm here. Let's live now. I think Mateer, people are forgetting he looked like the number one pick in the draft for a large portion of like the first 2 months of last season.
All right. And our buddy Ozzy sent one in too. We couldn't get it in, but he has $100 on Murakami to lead the league in home runs at 100 to 1.
That's a sick ticket.
Yeah.
He's a slow pitch softball player. All he does is, you see the one he hit last night? It was like up here.
I think he's going to do this.
I think
Because
that
he's on the White Sox and they'll pitch around Judge.
well, yeah, and I think for him too, there's still the element of he can go to a contender. It's all an audition. I don't believe he's a Chicago White Sox for life. I think that deal was made. It's mutually beneficial. You come to America, you prove what you can do. We'll make sure you end up on a better team either next year or in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Up next, another series, 2 series start tonight. A plethora of props. And can the Lakers make this interesting? Coming up, Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.